Hello my friends, I feel like I've been doing a lot of unboxing slash haul heavy videos, so today I wanted to go back to doing one of your favorite types of videos to watch, an Hermes Q&A where we discuss all your Hermes questions and dilemmas. Now obviously I am not an expert on the topic by any means, I'm just one of your friends who loves Hermes as much as you do, so if you'd like to go grab yourself a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, pour yourself a glass of wine, whatever you prefer, sit back and talk about everything Hermes, then you came to the right place. So without further ado, let's get into it. As always, you guys came through with some of the best questions, so if you send me a question, a big thank you to you. And if you'd like to participate in future Q&As like this, then make sure you follow me on Instagram. We have a ton of questions to get through, so I think we're going to split this video into two parts, which is what I've been doing with these videos, and I feel like it's worked, so why change it? I'm going to try to get to as many of your questions as possible. And let me just pick a random question and start here. So this question says, items your essay wants you to buy and are worth it from Hermes, which is a great question, but I don't think that there are any pieces that my advisor would have wanted me to buy. The only things that I can think of that surprised my advisors in the past were bags that I turned down. I remember there was a point in time when I was offered quite a few box Kellys in size 28, all of which I turned down. I wasn't the biggest fan of box leather in the past, and well, look at me now. But I remember I turned down, I want to say at least 2 or 3 box Kelly 28s, 2 of them in black and 1 in the color Rouge Ash, just because I didn't feel like that a box bag, especially a box Kelly in size 28, would have suited me, just because it's such an iconic classic shape and style that I didn't really feel like it was a particularly me bag. Even though it is a heritage piece, it means so much to Hermes to have that bag still in their portfolio to this day. It's just not something that I personally would have gone for. So I think box Kelly 28s, the ones that I turned down, my advisor was quite surprised by. Another bag that I know was shocking that I turned down was a Mini Kelly in Ostrich, which I was offered, I want to say it was fall winter of 2020, right before I got my gold Mini Kelly for Christmas. I was offered a Mini Kelly in Ostrich, which for me was an immediate no, just because I'm not the biggest fan of Ostrich. And then more recently, I turned down the HAC backpack, which I feel like my advisor knew that it was either going to be a hit or a miss for me, but that was a bag that I feel like a lot of people would have gone for. So I can think of these pieces, which I'm not exactly sure if this is the answer that you were looking for, but I don't think that there are any other pieces that my advisor or advisors in the past would have wanted me to buy. Best Hermes fine jewelry pieces under $5,000. I feel like any one of the rings that I mentioned in my everyday jewelry collection video, I would recommend. So things like the CDC ring, the Gallop ring, the Oshdunk ring, I feel like any one of these would add quite a bit of bang to your collection for the buck, especially because you can stack with any one of them with less expensive pieces, maybe non-designer pieces that you already own, and I feel like they're so interesting and so unique to Hermes that they will immediately elevate whatever you stack them with. If you wear earrings, I think their Shandong earrings are a great investment piece. They're staples that go with anything and everything. You can put them into your ears and you never have to take them out. Those are probably the pieces that I would start with, and then pretty much anything Shandong that is within the budget that you want to spend is hard to go wrong with. What would you do for your next special order bag? In the past I would have said that just something in suede, so I probably would have done a larger Birkin, probably a Birkin 35 in suede or a Kelly 32 in suede, obviously if suede was an option. But I feel like if it wasn't, I always said that unless suede is an option, I wouldn't want to place a special order bag. But I feel like I've been slowly but surely getting in the mood to put in a request for one. So maybe I'll do that either this coming special order experience, which is coming up in the fall, or maybe early next year. And I have to figure out what I want to do. Maybe let's talk about that, what is on my mind. I'm not exactly sure, but I might want to do a Mini Kelly, maybe a Mini Kelly in Nata or Gray, because I feel like there is one more Mini Kelly that I would be happy to add to my collection, but I don't think I would go crazy with adding different colors and making it a two-tone or tricolor bag, I would just want to place a special order for Kelly bag so I can make the strap longer, and maybe I could do a fun interior color. I could do maybe the interior in a nice shade of blue if I went for nata or gray, or I could do maybe a pop of red. I'm not exactly sure, but that's something that I would play around with. But I wouldn't go crazy with the stitching. I wouldn't go crazy with making the sangles a different color or the handle. It's just not really my aesthetic. Or I would love to do maybe another Kelly pochette. Not that I've ever placed a special order for a Kelly pochette, but I would love to get another Kelly pochette. And I could see myself getting it maybe in a color along the lines of chai or biscuit. If any one of those were an option in Swift, I would love to do that. Or if it was an option, I'm not exactly sure if it is, I could do maybe a Kelly pochette in Epsom, which I think would be stunning. So I am thinking along these lines, but let me know what you guys think. And if you were given the chance to place a special order, what would you order? I would love to know. And I got another question from the same person, which says, also, how's the puppy? Thank you for asking. He's doing incredibly well. He's growing like a mushroom. Every time he goes to sleep, he wakes up bigger and more stubborn. We probably got the most stubborn Labrador out there. It's made training him quite tough, but I love the fact that he has a really strong personality and he's just the cutest little boy, so we could not be happier with him. Has it been a full-time job looking after him? Yes, it has, and I'm really grateful that I was able to make it a priority in my life to raise him and look after him. But he's incredibly smart, he's so sweet, and yeah, he's doing incredibly well, so thank you so much for asking. I love this next question. What bags are your go-tos for each occasion? Formal, everyday, and work. So let's go through them step by step. Formal bag, I would say that I love either the Kelly pochette or the mini Kelly, but if I could only choose one, right now I'm in the mood for the mini Kelly. I always go through my phases. Some weeks I prefer the Kelly pochette, others I prefer my mini Kelly, and I have been using my mini Kelly just a little bit more. I think it's because the mini Kelly comes with a shoulder strap and it makes such a big difference. Adding or removing the shoulder strap makes this bag so incredibly multifunctional. It looks completely different with a shoulder strap than how it looks without. So I would say that as a formal bag right now, because you're asking me, I would go for the mini Kelly. As an everyday bag, I love my Constance 18 in box. If it comes to running errands and being out all day long, I would definitely go for my Constance 18. And then as a work bag, it depends on where you work. When I worked in a more professional office setting, I always carried my her bag, but I feel like if you work for yourself or if you need a larger bag, the grooming bag is something that I would also highly recommend. It's something that I have been carrying for picnics and traveling just because it fits everything. It fits a blanket, it fits the pup's food, his bowl, his toys, and it's not something that I have to worry about. But I would say either a her bag or a grooming bag is what I would prefer as my work bag option. Box is truly sublime, but tell us on a level of 1 to 10, how scared are you of scratching it? Great question. I feel like I used to be probably a 10 out of 10. I never even wanted to use my Kelly wallet after I scratched it once in box, but then I just had to get used to the idea of it getting scratched and marked. That's kind of the beauty of box, which some people will enjoy, others won't. I'm not the biggest fan of my bags changing color, texture, and even finish, which is unfortunately just the name of the game when it comes to box. The one thing that I always say is a positive when it comes to box is that it's such a thick, robust leather that it can be beautifully brought back to life. So if you scratch it, if you mark it, it's not like, let's say, alligator, where it's really difficult to correct your mistakes. With box, it can be buffed out beautifully. Now, I'm not saying that if you drag it through the mud, they'll be able to restore it, but if you just use it, enjoy it, and it gets a little beaten up, it's something that can be fixed by an Hermes craftsman. So don't drop it off anywhere else, take it back to Hermes and have the experts work on it. And I wouldn't recommend that you massage it at home. I know that there are people out there who say that you can fix your box at home. I just wouldn't take the risk, because if you do something that really badly damages the bag and Hermes is not willing to take care of it because they say that it's being tampered with, there's nothing you can do at that point. So I would just say leave the massaging to the experts and don't worry about your bag at home. Use it and enjoy it. And when you feel it's time for a facelift, just take it back to Hermes. And I would say that I wasn't really nervous about using my Constance. There are quite a few scratches and marks on it. One of the scratches was actually caused by a Chanel jacket that I was trying on in London, which surprisingly didn't break my heart. I wasn't fixated on that one scratch as I would have been if it happened to any one of my other bags. But when it comes to my new Kelly 25, I have to admit I am a little bit more nervous. I don't know why, but to me that bag is almost like a piece of art, almost like a little sculpture that I want to protect and keep in pristine condition. So I am a little bit more nervous about that. So at this point I would say that I am probably around a 3 or 4 when it comes to fear of scratching my bags. So this question always comes up in these Q&As, but I'm happy to answer them, which is please provide tips for building a good relationship with your advisor, method and frequency. And I would just say don't overthink it. Go to Hermes as often as you go to Chanel, Dior, Cartier, whatever your favorite boutique may be. Use the exact same strategies. Go as often as you go shopping to any other boutique and just enjoy the experience. There isn't, a secret recipe that you have to follow in order to get your hands on your dream bag. There are people who are going to tell you that you have to buy this or that, or you have to go this often in order for you to get your hands on your dream bag. I personally don't believe that. If there is something that you love from the brand and you want to see, go stop by your local boutique, reach out beforehand, and have a look at the piece you want. Whenever you want to go for a browse, that's the time for you to visit your local boutique. But I wouldn't go just for the sake of asking for a bag. Just enjoy the experience and shop at Hermes as you would at any other boutique. Whenever there is something that catches your eye and you want to see or try on, that's the best time for you to pay a visit to your local boutique. And in terms of method, just choose someone from the boutique that you enjoy working with. I always say, as you choose friends, as you choose an interior designer, as you choose anyone that you like hanging out with, it's the exact same way that you should choose an advisor, especially if you'd like to build a long-term relationship with the brand. Having that sort of rapport with the person that you get each other with goes a really, really long way. And we have another question on kind of the same topic, which is it considered disloyal to your advisor if you shop at an out-of-state boutique? I think it depends on what you buy. If you get offered a bag that you've always wanted, I think if you have a great relationship with your local store, if anything, they'll be happy for you. They'll be happy for the fact that you've been able to secure a bag that they were not able to get their hands on for you. So I wouldn't worry about that. One thing that I personally wouldn't do if you go to an out-of-state boutique and you're hoping to get a bag, you buy things that you had already ordered with your local store. If you had ordered pieces from the runway or from Podium, if they ask you to see if there's anything that catches your eye, I wouldn't buy those exact same things at a new boutique just because you're hoping you'll get offered a bag. I think that might be considered disloyal, but I feel like if you get offered a really unique piece, a bag even, I think your home store will be more than happy for your success. Have you ever done the Fubworks on Honore lottery system? How did it go?